Live here at Citizen Television, here with some great Kenyans. I'm telling you, Kenneth Onyango representing Border Association, Eddie Butita representing content creators, Caroline Nyambura representing Mama Mbogas and Baba Mbogas for that matter, and Waithaka Gatumia, CEO, Centonomy Financial Analyst. I tell you, this conversation on the eve of a budget is a conversation we need to have because a lot of you, I'm sure, are suffering. Kenneth, you were telling us earlier on, ikifika mwisho wa mwezi. Ikifika mwisho wa mwezi, unaanza kufanya mahesabu, utatumia lugha gani kupanga landlords. Because some landlords have even come up with new ways ya kudai do yao. Ikifika mwisho wa mwezi, either wangoe mabati side moja, ama wangoe mlango. Anangoa mlango? Anangoa mlango. Your front door? Of course. Alafu? Because sasa there are some people ambao wako na deni, Jeff, 2-3 months they've not paid, and kile kitu unapelekeanga landlord ni vipindi. Ni vipindi story unamwambia moja kwanza kuna mahali nalipwa, kuna jamaa nimemfanyia delivery for the entire week ajalipa but analipa pamoja, inakuja inakam. So those stories keep on going and going until the landlord anasema huyu dawa yake ni kungolewa mlango. So if you mlango. Yeah, Jeff, these things are happening in the states. It's happening huko kwa slums. It's totally na mabati kwa roof. Akingoa huko na mvua yaanze kunyesha, itabidi you give priority to the rent ya huyu mjamaa. And I actually understand some of the landlords, but it's very difficult, Jeff, because everybody outside here are toiling. It's very difficult. But let me address something that the president talked about the other day akiwa sherehe ya madaraka. The president said that he wants now to launch electric bikes. Zina come, by the way, September. Because I actually talked with one of the guys that already have those bikes here. Oh. And they are telling us they have, what they're actually working on right now is the infrastructure. Because the bikes, you have to charge them. Correct. And the amount they're using to charge is around 180 to 200 shillings. A day? Full capacity. And the battery takes you for around 100 kilometers. Now that one will be a total game changer for our industry. Because if I can actually, if I'm covering around 100 kilometers per day, or even 120, and I use 200 shillings to charge the battery, because what you do, you just go there and do a swapping of the battery in those swapping stations. Yes. You go there, you swap, and you give another one within 5 minutes. You actually leave for your daily business. Now, if the president can zero rate, and I was actually seeing something running through the screen, that they have zero rated solar, they've zero rated also battery, and the electric bikes also. If they can actually do that, we are ready to shift from these fuel enabled bikes to the electric one. So long as they can also assure us that tutapigwa na shock mvua ikinyesha. Because we also don't know, we are also fearful. Hatujui itakwaje. Unaweza chapwa na shock bana. Pigwa na shock, maybe mvua inanyesha, kuna electric shock hapo. Yes. And you remember it's 100%, eh? Correct. So uinuliwe tu kutoka kwa bike na customer wako. Jeff becomes a total different ball game. Yes. But if I'm spending around 700-800 shillings, Jeff, on fuel. On fuel. So now it's 200 on charging. Yes. We may save 6 hapo. We may save 6. So I don't know if this is the thing the president was talking about during campaigns at kazi ni kazi, pesa mfukoni. Because if that 600 can come back to my pocket, then we'll say at least ametujali hapo. Because that's where we're having a problem. Pesa yetu yote inaenda na multinationals. Those that are giving us loans here, a bike that we are buying at around 170,000 shillings, ikiwa cash. During the time of President Kibaki, Jeff, we used to buy bikes at around 60,000 because he totally zero-rated it completely, and bike haikuwa nakuwa taxed. Now, if there is no any other job the president is giving the youths, let him invest so much in training so that our people can be trained properly. Then we have a reduction of accidents on our roads. Number 2, let him zero-rate completely the bikes so that he can employ most of our people. So right now, me, I'm thinking of training my wife bike because they were retrenched during this COVID period. Hawajapata job. I'm the only. Paka leo. There is no company that is hiring. In fact, companies right now are laying off. Wanasema hii tax imetukalia. The other day you saw a company in Limuru, Bata wanasema they are laying off. So every company sahi wanafanya reduction.
So I want to train my wife ajue kuendesha na yeye pia umange kidogo huko mtaani, mimi nauma tao. So jioni tunagawa budget.
Caroline Nyambura. Hii serikali ilikuwa it ran on a campaign of hustlers.
Yes.
Yaani nini? Mama mboga.
Mama mboga.
Na watu wa boda boda.
So hii serikali ni ya mama mboga na ni yetu. Na sisi ndio tuliweka kwa hapo imefika kwa mamlaka. Ni bidii yetu. Ile kitu ningeomba hii serikali, hizi affordable house zitafikia mama mboga aje? Conversation yetu sokoni tunaulizana, hizi affordable house zitatufikia aje sisi kama mama mboga? Hii serikali hizi vitu inaambiliana, sisi zitatufikia aje?
Ndivyo mnauliza. Ndivyo mnauliza.
Hivyo ndio tunauliza. Utaratibu wa mama mboga kufikiwa na hizi affordable house. Juu tumezigojea, tumejaribu, tumeita investors, tulijaribu vitu mingi sana kabla hizi kitu ijakuja. Tukijaribu kutafuta hizo affordable house boma yetu. Tulijaribu kila kitu na tungeweza kuqualify juu boma yetu walikuwa wanaitisha 370 kupata nyumba. So tunauliza utaratibu wa hii serikali kufikia mama mboga. Juu sasa vitu zinafanyika Kenya, vitu zinafanyika, lakini kufika huko kwa ground jamu inakuwa mahali. So ground haiendeki, hakupitiki. So tunaomba hii serikali itafikia mama mboga aje.
Niambie mwisho wa mwezi kuna kuaga kwenu?
Jesus. Huko ni kubaya. Ni kubaya. Na si kupretend. Vipindire na hizo story. Kila mtu anakuambia nimekatiwa stima. Juu sasa hizi story unaona sasa si tuna kama sasa saa hii tuko June. Ndio wakati season yetu inaanza kuingia. So you can imagine from January. Hakukuwa na chakula Kenya. Tulikuwa tunatoa vitu TZ. Sasa ndio zimeanza kuingia. A lot of things. Kenya hakuna vitu mingi zinatoka. Vitu mingi zinatoka Tanzania. Chakula. Kenya hakuna chakula. Chakula mingi tunatoa Tanzania.
So Senegali.
Ikitoka Tanzania ni cheap.
Ni cheaper.
Yes, so kama sasa ya Tanzania tulikuwa tunauza 5,000, ya Kenya tulikuwa tunauza 10,000. So ungenunua nini kama viazi? Ungenunua nini?
Za TZ.
Ungenunua TZ. So Kenya hakuna viazi, hakuna chakula, lakini sasa hivi yenye kumenyesha imeshuka. Kila kitu imeshuka na kila kitu imeanza kutokea. So I believe hii mvua ikiendelea tu hivi ikifika mwezi wa 9, nafikiri mtoto atakuwa ameanza kukula.
Na rent yako?
Rent ni stress. Juu lazima useme hivi, useme vile, udanganyane. Hiyo ni ukweli, si siri na si mimi peke yangu, ni kila mtu. Hiyo ndio imekuwa maisha yetu wa Kenya. Lazima uambie landlord sijui kuna mahali nilisupply vitu, au watu walisema watalipa mwisho wa mwezi ama watalipa next week, check imebounce. Hata karibu uende utafute check fake ukuje mdanganye. Ni kubaya. Yaani tunaishi na yani si kupenda. Umesukumwa.
Na stima na maji na kadhalika.
Zote limit. Na wewe ndio umegojewa na wewe ndio kila kitu.
It's tough, man. It is tough.
It is. But it's tough across the board. Because as you're saying, even that landlord has a loan with the bank. Who is chasing him? The bank. What does he do? Even the employer that we are talking about, the businesses that you're saying, we are fighting to stay alive.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. We, as a company, our entire business was training people physically in rooms, and that's what we were doing. I still remember 13th March 2020, President came on the television and said, all in-person learning is finished. Yeah. No classes. Our business was dead. Sunday, we spoke with our founder. Monday, we had a consultant in the office. That's the first day I ever heard of a thing called Zoom. The whole team was brought into the place, and we told them, every single student, we're going to tell them we are learning virtually. If we didn't make that move at that point,
you'd be finished.
We would be dead. The company would be dead. And so everyone is adapting to
but a lot
every
of companies
situation.
Went down, by the way.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
And it's and what I love about listening to the discussion here is that each one of these wonderful people here is an entrepreneur at heart. Why? Because they're problem solvers. So you are saying entertainment now, we can't have it in a hall somewhere. Come watch my video here. You're saying the viazi from here in Kenya is too expensive. TZ, here we come. You're looking at it and you're saying, that if I can get an electric bike, my life is going to change. And that's the attitudes that's going to move this country forward. Because these are not people here who are sitting and saying they are waiting for a solution from somewhere else. You're seeing solutions being raised in this place. And if we come with that attitude of being a problem solver, just like I love this guy, is a watchman in our estate where we used to stay. This guy is earning, I think they were not being paid well. Let me just be honest. At that time, they were being paid what? 13,000, you can imagine. And that is before they have been taxed.
And he's working 12 hours.
He's working
right?
12 hours.
Yes.
So this guy realized, I can't survive. So he came and said, he counted all the cars in the estate. And he said, if I can wash, let me just get one deal to wash your car once a week. He doubled his income within a period. Doubled. Because now he was not just sitting there and sleeping at night. He would wash one car and then sleep afterwards. But at least he has made an extra 200 bob, what we're talking about here. If we don't become the solution to the problem, we'll always be waiting for a solution to come from somewhere else. But Jeff, the other thing that we have to move away from in this country, and I pray that the government is paying attention to this, and you guys were talking about environment matters, we have to move away from the self-employment to entrepreneurship.
What's the difference?
So if you're self-employed, what you make is what you eat. If you're an entrepreneur, you're building a business that generates profit. And this is one of the things when we're training business owners now, and it's a big issue, because even I didn't know this. Jeff, I went to university, and for some reason, this thing passed somewhere along there, where I never understood the fact that if I am a business owner, profit is not my money. If this is the difference between businesses that start in the West and other places. In a business, profit is not your money. If I'm an entrepreneur, I make money from my business in only 3 ways. I either pay myself a salary, so I become a cost to my business. I take a dividend. Now, I know these are terminologies, but it's important for us to understand. Take a dividend, which is not profit. It is a portion of the net profit at the end of the year. And the third way that I make money from my business is if I sell shares in my business. And you're seeing money flowing into this continent like never before. Why? Because this is what you're talking about now. This is the growing continent. Europe has slowed down. China has slowed down. And Asia is slowing down. The West, America has slowed down. What is the growth economy? So why do you think all that money is flowing here? Because they're seeing suddenly people have money in their pocket to buy music, to do all those things. First of all, you have a phone in your pocket. So it is time for us, Kenyans, to take advantage of that market. Because everyone else is looking at it. They are coming here because they are seeing this is where growth is happening. Right. So if we don't educate ourselves on how our business works, you will continue to complain that all these ideas are coming from Europe and they're repatriating their money. Let's make some money stay here.
Kenneth.
Let me ask something, Jeff.
Go on.
The government, can we actually have a scenario where we have a government that walks the talk? That when you say something, you completely go down to the ground and make sure that what you said is truly what is on the ground. Because like for instance, Jeff, hapa nje, people are going through difficult time. Vile alikuwa anasema, instead of buying food, pika nyumbani. People don't have anything to cook.
Even in home.
Watu wana kitu ya kupika. So even when you say cook at home, you cook what? You know, some people are carrying sufurias around. It may look like they are demonstrating, but they are only trying to paint a true picture. Ambayo iko nyumbani. They have sufuria, but they have nothing to cook. They have gas cylinders, but there's no gas. Because even the prices of those commodities imeenda juu. So they have nothing absolutely. We want to ask the government, and I've heard so many times the deputy president speak and say, tayari tumeshukisha hata unga, iko 150. But you go to all these supermarkets and you not see that unga ya 150.
Haijafikisha?
Hakuna. Ile kitu unapata huko, unaambiwa hiyo ya 150 enda uchukue kwa serikali. So you fail to understand whether the government also has their own supermarket. There's a time you used to have those unga ambayo inasemekana not for sale.
Not for sale, yeah.
Not for sale. So when you hear the deputy president Rigiji mwenyewe saying unga iko pale 150, sure tunapenda vile anasema because he is still giving us hope. But I don't think this is a time to give us hope. It's a time for reality. An angry man is an hungry man. This country will burn if we allow our people to reach that level where they're completely hungry and we are still giving them hope instead of giving them food.
Yeah.
If people have been laid off, Jeff, I was trying to imagine a scenario where mimi naendesha boda and still I'm earning something small. What about that person ambaye ana job? Akiamuka asubuhi anatafuta hata mtu mwenye anaweza mpatia tu kibarua ya kubeba maji ampelekee na hakuna. Because if you used to give somebody kibarua and you pay them 100 bob, na maji iko like a kilometer, if you can actually do that kilometer wewe mwenyewe na ujichote maji, you've saved 100. He has taught us the direction ya kusave. So awi tayari ana lay off other people from their jobs. Sababu ule mtu anaadingi that so kuchotea mtu maji.
Atapata.
Sahi kuna kitu huyu ana watch TV sahi ameona. Asema ala, kwa hivyo I can also do this by my own self. Na huyu alale njaa. That one increases something in our places where we stay because we don't have security. The level of crime has gone so high, Jeff. Yeah. Places where we stay, people are being stabbed every single day. Uwezi toka hata hiyo asubuhi mapema vile mama mboga alikuwa anazungumza natoka saa 9.
Utapigwa ngete.
Utadungwa kisu, utapigwa ngeta, they will offload everything that you have. Hata hii simu ambayo tunatumia sasa kupata naye job, itaenda. Sasa kama sisi saizi, most of our riders have suffered something for when they are doing their job. You carry a stranger, because most of the clients we carry, they are strangers. We don't know them. Unaona amekupea job. Utanipeleka Mudhangari, ama utanipeleka wapi? Ukifika na yeye, wewe ako hapa nyuma yako, most of the time wanasimamaga nyuma yetu hapa. Unangoja afungue wallet, hakutolee do. That guy happens to kwamba yeye anatoa gun. So you have to choose your life or your bike. So you tell them just go with the bike. And we have lost, many of our riders have actually lost their own, their tool of trade, which is the motorcycle. So it is becoming difficult. Not only we are ending in the evening kuenda nyumbani bila do, but at the same time, sometimes we are running nyumbani bila bike. Because you have to choose, ni bike or your life. The estate ile tunaishi, the other time the president spoke very well, akisema, Kenya Power waache kuzimia watu stima. Because some of us, the place where we stay, they actually gave us a bill that we could not pay, Jeff. They gave us a bill of around 2.5 million for us to pay, and they completely shut the entire place where we stay without power. So we are staying in darkness, literally in darkness. Sisi huko ukiangalia watu jioni wanagongeana mlango ndio watoke pamoja. Ukitoka peke yako you not survive. So mnatoka pamoja alafu mnaanza in our estate sasa hii tumenunua vuvuzela. Ukitoka asubuhi mnapiga vuvuzela. So wale wanataka kutoka mapema asubuhi mnatoka pamoja. Hiyo kelele yote ndio mtoke pamoja, because you will not survive, Jeff. You utafika mahali unaenda. You will be stabbed, you will be killed, and it is now a thing ambayo ni kawaida in our places where we stay. It's very dangerous. So the president, because yeye ni hustler, ambaye alituambia ni hustler. Na sisi hustler tukabai hiyo, tukasema it's better we give our hustler this time round an opportunity to sit in the seat of power. Now watoe wale wametukalia all this time. I don't know whether he has forgotten ama kuna wale wanamzuia asijue the reality that is on the ground. Now because he is watching the show, please the president, as much as people wanasema wacha kusema saidia serikali, sisi tunaomba tu serikali because ndio tunajua. You see, he is the only person who can actually clear those security yake, atembe aende ground aone what is the reality. Because those people reporting to him and telling him kila kitu iko sawa boss, everything is okay, there is no problem, the country is running on very well, it is a lie. The reality on the ground, kwa ground, Jeff, mambo ni different. Mambo ni different kwa ground.
Butita, you met the president the other day, you told us, right?
Yes.
Did you get a chance to talk to him about how things are on the ground?
Yes, but mostly within my industry and how it can be enabled. Because I see even through his points, it's just the matter of enabling the environment. So personally, I raised the issues that we were facing which this being a new economy, it has its own issues, which mainly are on the monetization sides. That's about how we make money on these platforms and how the reductions are made with the platforms and how to give us all futures like the Western countries, the privileges they have on these platforms, if we can have those privileges. We are at 70%, which means in the next 1 or 2 months, we'll have all features that these platforms offer. So I'm waiting for that, because I know with that, I'll be able to cater for my team well, and they'll be able to survive with what we do. But also, I'm looking at the wider picture for all other industries, because yes, we'll be unable to make what we want, but if life is tough on the other side, maybe buying food, buying what we need, then also it would be solving the problem. So I was reading some articles, and I saw it's a worldwide crisis post-COVID. Things were tough in different countries. We have countries that the inflation rate is very high, the dollar, and versus the shillings. So I just hope once we pass through this phase, things will get back to normal, because we also live at a place where people take advantage of things. They'll raise prices, they'll try to exploit people and maintain on that level even after things have settled. So with this entire crisis of finance and economy, I just feel like when we'll go through it and go back to normal.
You have hope. Yeah. You have hope. Yeah. Pauline, Caroline, sorry, you look summer before. You have a lot of hope in the future,
with
in this government. Uko na hope sana?
Sana. Unajua rais wetu ni mtu wa kusikia na kutenda. Mimi naweza toa yeye ushahidi. Kuna wakati nilipatana na yeye wakati alikuwa naomba kura, na tukaongea hizo maneno za CRB. Na wakati aliingia kwa power, the first thing he did ilikuwa ni kuimplement hizo mitaratibu zote, na alikumbuka kama anaweza kusikiza mama mboga na akaenda akafanya kitu mama mboga amemwambia, najua he said I have faith.
Ako sawa.
Ako sawa.
Yeye ni rais wa hustlers.
Yeye ni rais wa hustlers. Ile kitu ningeomba pale sokoni kwetu, kuna vijana, watu wanashuka kutoka nyumbani sokoni. Vijana wanashuka kutoka mahali wametoka sokoni. Unajua sokoni kuna watu wanabeba mizigo, kuna vitu mingi zinafanyika hapo without capital kwa vijana. So wakati wamefika hapo wanakuwa desperate sana. Hakuna kazi, hakuna nini. So hiyo pombe imeingia sokoni. So sijui Rigiji atafanya nini hiyo pombe itoke. Na huko sokoni hayuzi kama hizo, si pombe ni mikorogo. Hiyo mikorogo hayuzi vile huku kwingine kunauzwa. Inauzwa na vibuyu kama uji. So unaweza fikiria ni uji inauzwa.
Na si uji. Na si
uji. So hiyo maneno ya Rigiji tuko nyuma yake kama mama mboga. Jua amesema vile tunataka atumalizie hii pombe. Hiyo ni ombi la kina mama. Atumalizie hii pombe. Rigiji.
Yeah. We're going to go to the magic wall. I think we have a lot of feedback, folks. Let's just take a look at it and see, because tweets are coming in very thick and very fast. Let's start with T. Onyonyi. Says, the presidency and the KK government should focus on what they promised, lowering the cost of living. Hiking taxes wasn't part of that. How will you build someone a house and he is starving? Is it making sense? Logic should dictate what happens at this point in time. That housing thing was a real controversial thing, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Huh?
Yep, it was. The biggest issue was selling the idea.
Yeah. And they didn't sell it very well.
They didn't sell it well. And there was no clarity on what it means for people, and also the lack of choice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was they're trying something new. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see how it goes.
Give them a chance.
Yeah, give them a chance, Caroline says. Jeremiah Karaoke Msae mwenyewe says, Fuliza mobile loans will shoot up. Bank loans to have massive defaults. This is because the disposable income goes down drastically with the high taxation. I think you can address that a little bit when we come back, when I finish these. I think that Fuliza and those mobile loans. Wow.
Yeah.
So Nixon says, in reference to our parliamentarians' conduct, I sadly note that public participation does not matter. Public opinion does not count. Section 1 of our Constitution is just rhetorical, while Section 2 is just ambiguous. Wow. Deep. Isaac Muthusi says, President WSR promised cheap ugali, 2 kilograms per packet at 170 shillings, which no Kenyan could locate. Who will trust his promises for houses? This housing levy is a big scandal, he says. Tweets coming in so thick and so fast. As we wind up, Kenneth, let me start with you.
Yeah.
Again, I was talking about Musho wa Mwezi vile mambo ni mabaya, right?
Yes, yes.
What about relatives? Wale wako inje, wako shago. Now, you know, whether it's Musho wa Mwezi or whenever during the month when I kuitisha, hey bro, when do you pay slip yao?
Huyu ndio Sonkore. Wanatuita hivyo because tunawarushia kitu. But let me tell you, Jeff, the place naweza pongeza president. Mahali naweza sema hata kama inatufinya bado lakini imetusaidia. Sisi huwa tuna survive sana Jeff on kuchukua loan kwa hii app. Ikifika unachukua kwa hii nyingine ulipe hii. So like for instance nachukua Fuliza. Time ya Fuliza ikifika nachukua Hustler Fund. Hustler Fund ilipe Fuliza. Hii ya Fuliza ikiwa hii Hustler Fund ikiwa karibu ifike nilipe nachukua Mshwari. So it rotates like that. So we are operating like that because now it's difficult. 600 you cannot survive and you have a family in Nairobi. So it's more of a challenge. So that Hustler Fund, you see, ukilipa within the time limit, they are increasing it. Like for instance, mimi nilianza when it was 500 shillings.
Yeah.
They gave me a limit of 500. So hizi imefika 2500.
Oh, Hustler Fund.
Yes, imefika 2500.
No, unalipa each time, eh? Nalipa. Nachukuaga nalipa. So kidogo mimi naweza sema imetusaidia kwa sababu hiyo 2500 ungeitoa wapi? Hakuna saizi, hakuna hata wale watu tulikuwa tunakopeshananga. Unajua we used to have chama zile za stage. Hizo zilienda zikikufa because mtu anakuambia mimi siwezi kuwa kwa chama because I don't have that money. The only amount that I have now ni ile inasaidia my family. So you borrow here to fix here. But you're constantly in debt. Uko kwa hiyo madeni.
Niyo maisha ya sahi. You can't survive if you're not in debt. That's why he told us that even the landlords pia wanalipa loan. Hata wao wako kwa deni. Even the president told us the country is in debt. So if the country is surviving on debt, hata sisi tuna survive hivyo. Fuliza hapa, lipa pale. Mshwari hapa, lipa nini, Hustler Fund pale. So hii Hustler Fund, I think ndio maana ilipewa jina Hustler Fund. So the president anafaa tu hakikisha tu hata ile interest that imewekwa kwa Hustler Fund aipunguze tu kidogo because now it's actually helping us to survive. Yeah.
Well, this is the point. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. It's not sustainable.
No.
And you're essentially becoming a slave to the companies that are giving you the credit. And so as much as you possibly can. And that's what I said. When I started this discussion, I was not saying everyone. Because when you said I have nothing and I need to eat, now, if you're in a situation where your children are not going to eat that day, I know some of the choices that have to be made. But I think if we have some kind of income that is coming through, the choices around using debt to sustain your life, it will come to an end. They'll come to a point when you have finished all the apps that are in place. And so as much as possible, stay away from using debt for daily affairs, daily consumption. Here's a good idea. If you go to the market, and I've seen like in our estate, that's what some of the ladies do. They'll take 4,000 from their whichever debt platform it is. They go to the market where people don't want to go. They purchase their goods for 4,000. They'll come to the estate and sell those same goods, God willing, between 6,000 and 7,000. That's good debt. Why? Because you're actually making a profit on top of it. God willing, you sell it. But if you're using that Fuliza, or I shouldn't be using brands, but whichever brand it is that you're using, if you're using that debt to buy the lunch that we were talking about before, that one is dangerous because there's no return on that money. So anyone who's using debt where there's no return, be very careful.
Caroline?
Yes.
As we wind up, kama Rais anakusikiza, utamwambiaje?
Kama rais ananisikiza.
Labda na watch saa hizi. Hasla mwenyewe.
Hasla mwenyewe. President, sisi ndio tulikuchagua mama mboga na ukasema serikali ni ya mama mboga. Ningeomba ushikilie, yani hizi pesa zinatolewa kwa tax na hizi zinatolewa kila mahali. Hizo pesa zetu tuchungie. Hatutaki zitumike vibaya. Na ningeomba hivi, kama pale sokoni kunatolewa sales, hospitali kuna zile pesa zinatolewa kila mahali. Na ninajua kuna vitu zitafanyiwa amendment. Si zote zitapita, kutakuwa na amendment. Ningeomba rais utuchungie pesa na utulindie vijana wetu, our boys, our husbands. Hii stress ni mingi. Mahali ninatoka sokoni, watu hawaendi nyumbani. Ikifika jioni, hawaendi nyumbani.
Wanaenda wapi?
Wanalala huko.
Kwa soko?
Kwa soko. Juu maisha imekuwa ngumu. Mtu ajua ataambia bibi yake aje. So kuna a lot of confusing, mambo mingi zinafanyika. Na ninajua nchi ni changa na tunaamini rais atatue. I believe in him. Na najua kuna mambo atatengeneza. At the end of this year, kuna mambo yatabaki vile yalivyo na najua kuna mambo yatabadilika. Ningeomba sisi mama mboga tuko sokoni, watoto wetu wako sokoni. Hakuna mtu anaweza tuandikia hao vijana. President, naomba Gavana Sakaja, gavana wetu tulikuweka kwa hiyo kiti. Tuandikie vijana wetu. Sisi ni mama mboga, watoto wetu tumewaleta sokoni, tunafanya kazi nao, wameingilia madawa juu ya frustration na bangi. So naomba hivi, serikali wakati inachukua watu wanaandikwa, mama mboga anakumbukwa aje? Juu kama Jeff sasa kama uko na mtoto, kuna vile utamleta hapa Citizen. Sasa mimi nitampeleka sokoni. Watoto wetu hawaandikwi. Ningeomba serikali tuandikie watoto. Kuwe na utaratibu hata sisi tufikiwe kama mamboga. Watoto wetu wapelekwe NYS, wapelekwe kwa jeshi, wapelekwe polisi. Hizo vitu nafasi hatupati. So naomba President, kumbuka mama mboga.
Kabisa. Eddie Butita, talk to your content creators. What do you tell them going forward?
Going forward, let's keep on putting work because where we are heading to, if you put in more work, you'll be able to earn more. And once we start earning, let's also keep in mind how to plan these finances, because we are in an industry where we don't have a consistent pattern, as I mentioned, of how you make money. So when you make a kill, be able to plan yourself with that as you wait for another one.
And what about those who want to be content producers, who want to be you now? What do you tell them?
Nothing is stopping you. This is an industry that has no gatekeepers. What you need right now is your cell phone, and you can put it in front of you and do something. And being a content creator does not mean you need to be a comedian, a musician, a filmmaker. You can be doing anything. Unaweza kuwa na salon, unaweza kuwa nini, and you want to show people how you do that thing. Content creation is about just what you do, trying to teach people or trying to show people something, and you want them to be entertained. So there are no limits in this industry. Hata wewe unaweza kuwa content creator. Ukiendesha bodaboda, una create content, unawaambia vile hii industry ya bodaboda iko, vile kazi inakuanga, vile unaweza tengeneza pesa, kila kitu, na utapata wale wanataka kuingia kwa hiyo industry, wana watch hizo video ndio waweze kujifundisha. Na bado utengeneze pesa na hizo videos na bodaboda. Na content creation ina pesa. Na hata sio hivyo, watu wa pikipiki sasa watakuwa nakupatia bure post. That's the big.
By the way, thank you, Jeff, for bringing us for this show.
Yes.
Because now it's also a learning process.
Yes.
Kwa sababu if by doing content na kuweka kwa video, it can also help me enhance something, then nitaongezea tu ile pia boda na niendelee ku make some steps. But there is something last that I want to say, Jeff. The president ule alitoka Uhuru alitoa 30% of the government is it tender or something ipatiwe vijana. Is there a way in which our current president William Ruto at address the issue of mambo ya recurrent not recurrent pending bills? Jeff, una supply vitu, unazungushwa na wale wanafaa kukulipa mpaka una give up. Una supply, they know very well you supplied. You mlitengeneza chama, mkachanga pesa kidogo kidogo, mkasema hii kitu tumewahi, wacha tu supply. Mmesupply, you're not getting anything. You unazungushwa, wale wako huko wanafaa kukulipa, wanaitisha 10%. Ndio wakulipe.
Yeah.
that 10% hauna. And pia inakuwa ni story. My sister-in-law ambaye alifanya kutengeneza desk za shule hapa tu Ngong Road, and vitu zake ziko City Hall since the time of Governor Kidero. Sonko came, Sonko left. Kananu came, she left. Now tuko na Governor Sakaja. Hajawahi lipwa.
Miaka ngapi?
Yes, sasa ni almost 15 years.
Ay, bro.
Jeff, it's something very painful. The other day uliona mzee alikuwa pale hapo City Hall, alikuja na akatoa nguo zote because of frustration. Anasema I've supplied, I'm a contractor, I'm not being paid.
Tafadhali usitoe nguo zako.
Sitatoa nguo, lakini ninaomba tu for us that actually made small supplies, na si pesa nyingi, tulipwe tu.
Sawa. Wadaka, you get the last word.
Wow, pressure. So, I've been saying it over and over again. The only person that you have control over is yourself, Jeff. And if I can take control of my space, I take control of my mind, the way we're discussing here and coming up with ideas. Right now, we've gotten an idea of content creation of boda bodas. Get that, put your phone and get the video as you're riding and show riding in Nairobi or whatever it is, whatever area it is. If we can have less discussions about everyone else and more discussions about ourselves, we're heading in the right direction. If we can take control of our money, at whatever money you get, if you can be able to take control of it, we're heading in the right direction. And the third thing, Jeff, please get education. All this that you're talking about, content creation, go online. There's so much free material at the moment, but also pay for good education as well. Because if you understand how to manage your money, if you understand how to run your business, you're in a different league because you're addressing issues from a point of view that no one else is. It sets you apart from the competition. So it's time that I think we take personal responsibility for where we are. Our founder, Washeke Ndwati, she's written a book, and in it, it really challenged me because she said, you know, you are where you are because you have chosen to be there. How do you know that? Because one of your colleagues here, I loved listening to his story. What's his name? The guy with the wonderful voice, the royal voice. What is it? Mwakazi.
Yes.
Yes. Mwakazi grew up in Kibera. Yeah. And if you listen to his story, that beautiful voice didn't just happen. There was the gift of God. Correct. But he also used to listen to the radio, pay attention to pronunciation and everything, so that the moment that somebody noticed it, his preparation allowed for the opportunity to bring it through. Ready. So be preparing yourself. I love the content that you're creating right now and the amount that you're putting out. Why? Because all these media houses are looking and saying, what's the next show that I'm going to do? And if it just takes one opportunity and it can change your life completely. So prepare yourself right now.
Today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love it. Prepare yourself today. Wadaka Gatumia, thank you so much. Caroline Nyambura, well done. Asante sana. All the very best. Unamka saa 10 tena?
Yes.
Kawaida?
Yes.
Oi. Eddie Butita. Kenneth Onyango.
Asante sana.
Fantastic.
And I want to give you a ride one of these fine days.
I'll take it.
Hey, that's content.
That's content right there.
That's content.
Absolutely.
Hey, by the Nijenga.
Yes.
Hiyo ndio unafungua nayo channel.
I hope you guys have learned as much as we have here on this eve of the budget reading, folks. It's all about dreams and expectations and aspirations. That's what it's all about. Thanks so much for being a part.